So our next speaker this evening will be Vincent Steinhauer. Vincent is a neolino from oh my goodness. I'm going to not do a good job. Who is it? Can you one more time? You'll have to ask him later. No. I'm sorry. Okay. He is a married man with 5 children and 1 more on the way in a month. Vincent is currently a doctoral student at Blue Quills First Nations College in northeastern Alberta, where he is studying and privileging Indigenous knowledge and traditional medicines. Vincent is also a traditional ceremonial holder and works with the peoples to heal the wounds of colonization and imperialism. So please join me in welcoming.
Good evening, Tansa Nwagumagana. The Miwete, the Bake Awal, Nia, the Big Squat, the Arnold. Hey, welcome, Adi Simonsi, Nia. Let's squat only, is what you were trying to say. I told her it's okay if you kill my language. I'm going to work hard at slaughtering the English language. Form of decolonization. Since the English have done so much to us, the least I can do is try to kill the language. I've been given tobacco, so I'm just going to sing a prayer song. And the reason why I'm doing that, I work at Blue Quills First Nations College, as well as being a student and instructor there. And we, whenever we come and present, we sing. And the reason why we sing is to open the room to our ancestors. Not only my ancestors, but your ancestors as well. So I'm told to speak my truth. And part of speaking truth is having witness. So asking those witnesses to come. Because I speak not only for today, I speak for 7 generations into the future. So that my great-grandchildren can still be here on these lands. Because Canada is illegally occupying our lands. Most people think Canada is such a lovely state. But how did Canada come to be? And how did Canada get to own all of this land? And that's a question that the Canadian state keeps on going over and over and over again. And they keep on taking more land from us until there's going to be no more land left for us. Or they'll legislate Indigenous people right out of existence.
Wisage takin degan, kakioki kwe no semen, haya, haya, we, haya, we, haya, 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 we, Yahweh, haya, we, haya, we, Yahweh, haya, we, Yahweh, haya, we, haya, haya. Yahweh, 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 we sage takin degan, kakio hino no semen, haya, haya, we, haya, we, haya, we, Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Yahweh, 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 Yahweh.
So that song is to our Stason, our older brother. And our older brother, after the Creator made this earth life, and this earth life, we all live upon it. After the And so the Creator put Wasabi-Tak here. And in that song, the words to that song is, I am Wasabi-Tak and I am your older brother. I'm the older brother to everything here. I'm the older brother to all people as well. And so Wasabi-Tak is a bit of a trickster. Let's play tricks, and that's how we taught these things. The Creator said, well, I'm going to put you here, and I want you to teach everybody how to get along with human beings, because I'm going to put the human being here. Wasabi-Tak said, sure, I can do that for you. So, and he said, also, I want you to name the land as you go. I want you to name the land as you go. That's why in Turtle Island, you'll see Cree names all over the place. You'll see, and you've internalized Cree names, Saskatchewan, fast flowing. Manitoba, a place where the Creator sat. Mississippi, which means a big river. Wasabi-Tak was doing his job. Until finally Wasabi-Tak said, you know what? I need a partner. And so he said, hey, Creator, come over here. I need a partner. I need somebody to walk with me and talk with me. I need somebody with 4 legs so that they can keep up with me, because I'm a fast walker. I need somebody with a strong voice. I need somebody with a good coat so they don't get cold either. So they negotiated amongst themselves, and what they built together was a wolf, Mahigan. We think of Mahigan as our younger brother, and Wasabi-Tak as our older brother. And so Wasabi-Tak was happy, the Creator was happy, and the Creator went off on the Creator's way. As soon as the Creator was out of sight, Wasabi-Tak went to the nearest tree and sat down and laid there and said, you got 4 legs, you go. Go look at all the land. And what I'm going to tell you is, you go in each direction, and then when you go in each direction, you call. Make sure that the land is big enough, so when the people come here, the land will be big enough. To this day, that wolf is still calling. The land is big enough. It's big enough for everyone. But yet, due to those philosophers in the Enlightenment period where they cut their head off of their body, all that rationalization, they gave the body to the women. Doesn't work like that, though. We call ourselves Neo-Eno, and you see medicine wheels all over the place. And these medicine wheels have 4 quadrants. They have the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. That is 4. Neo. Eno, the IW is the root for healer. And also the I is the original form. So Neo-Eno means the 4-part original form healer. That's what we call ourselves. It's not Cree. Cree is the French people came over here and we greeted them. You know how we greeted them? Which is not even a good greeting. My brothers back home can do it way better than I can. So if you got startled, they call us Neki, which is the cry. And in all of our songs, they start out with that cry. And when we greet people, we do that. They call that Sagwe. And it tells not only you, but it tells the Creator that, hey, we're vibrant. We're still here. So, with that Neo-Eno, when those black robes came over here to save us, or save themselves, or save something, they're still at it anyway. There's six churches on our reserve. They're still up to it. So that papal bull there is still like written in stone. I think they should give it up. I think they should give it up and say, okay, We tried for 500 years, we couldn't do it. We realized you have your own way of worship, you have your own prayers, you have your own songs. Sorry about that residential school era. You know, we were all wrong, along with the Canadian state. We might as well just call it genocide, because that's what it was. But a lot of the people I teach, and I teach at Blue Quills, our classes are about 60% Indigenous, 40% mainstream. And those mainstream students that are there, that grew up in the shadows of that residential school, have no idea what happened in that residential school. They think it was just another school. It's incredible. It's incredible the master narrative that is spun by the Canadian state. And it's fed to our children in social studies. I think we need to scrap the social studies curriculum because it does more damage than good. You see my relations walking down the street, broken, drunk, self-medicating, and people say, that guy could have a job. They blame the victim. I'd like to see you guys go through the residential school era for 7 generations and see what happens. Have your religion demonized. Have your language demonized. Have parenting cut off. Have 7 generations of the future taken away from you. Because that's what children are, right? They're the future. So when I was in university, people were saying, yeah, we want equality. We want our university paid for just like yours is. My response to them was, you want equality? Okay, I'll give you equality. I'll be at your house tonight with a grain truck. I'll pick up all your children. And if you see them in 10 months, you'll be lucky because 50% of those children that went to residential schools never made it home again. They died in residential schools. So, the land is very important. I started out by saying how important the land is. As long as we have the land, those little specks of land left over, then what we do on that land is ceremony. I've been to listen to people talk about Indigenous governance, and it seems like Indigenous governance is modeled after liberalism. You all know what liberalism is, right? It's based on abstraction. It's based on nothing. Some people's thoughts. And yet, 9 out of 10 countries in the world are running on liberalism, on an abstraction. When I look at Indigenous governance, I see it alive and well, and I see it operating within ceremony. Because in ceremony, in order to have a ceremony, and if you're an anthropologist, you should know this. You go into the ceremony, you see the headman with the pipe, and that's the headman. Everything else falls under it, like a hierarchy, if you're an anthropologist. But if you're an Indigenous person that knows Indigenous knowledge, that head person is nothing without the pipe man that blows the pipe. That pipe man is nothing without the Oskabelsak that make the fires, that haul the wood. That lodge is nothing without the lodge builders. That ceremony cannot happen unless the hunters went out hunting, the gatherers went out gathering. That ceremony is nothing without the women. Totally nothing without the women, because the women gifted that ceremony to the men. But us men, we bought into patriarchy so firmly, we think we're kings of the castle. When really castles came over with people that owned them. We had Miwab up here, and the Miwab is a teepee. And if you ever look at a teepee, it looks like this, right? It's got a long gown. We believe those teepees are representation of our grandmothers. And they stand there like this for our protection. And they pray to the Creator endlessly. in that migwam is a fire, and that fire is spirit. Just like every one of us, we have spirit, we have a little bit of fire. But I have to ask my atheist friends, what's inside? I don't know if they think there's a fire inside. I don't know what's inside, maybe. So, getting back to the ceremony, we need all of these things coming together. So if we look at that circle again, and you draw more quadrants, and you turn it on its side, it's flat, like a pancake. That's what Karl Marx saw when he came over here and looked at the Iroquois Confederacy. He saw a true form of communism. Sure, they had communism in Europe. But when he came over here, he saw a true form of communism. It's the same thing that Thomas Paine and the rest of those American writers who plagiarized so thoroughly the Six Nations, Great Law of Peace for their democracy. It's the same thing they saw, but they didn't get it right. They missed out critical things. Like the hierarchy. The hierarchy is not there in our world. Go to any ceremony, and you'll see that half of that lodge is for women, half of that lodge is for men. And that ceremony cannot happen, Indigenous governance cannot happen, unless everybody's working together, everybody's playing their roles, and fulfilling their responsibilities. You ask any Indigenous person, what is your main responsibility? And they will tell you, it's a responsibility to the land. Above all else, it's the land. And if they've lost touch, they won't answer that. But the land is key. The land is key. That's why Harper and his gang are trying to push through this Land Management Act, where they're going to privatize all the land that's left on First Nations. They're saying, their rhetoric is that when we do this, then you people. And when that language is used, you people and our people, you know there's racism afoot. Because they should be saying our people, the ones that are all related. When you people have privatized land, then you can join the Canadian economy. Anybody can see that you go to any city, Edmonton included. I go for dim sum over here. And a third of those people in line are supposedly white people. So, a situation, a state that's built by white people, for white people to make it, on white privilege, when white people can't make it, you're telling me that privatizing land is going to make us equal? That's rational. That's more rationality, which is totally irrational. So I hear about, and I'm glad I was asked to come. I was asked 2 days ago to come. Because I hear about Palestine, and I hear about Israel, and how the Americans built this Israeli state out of Palestinian land. Well, I just encourage Palestinian people to keep hanging in there, because we've been hanging in for over 500 years, and we'll keep hanging in there, because you can't kill spirit. Hang in.